Hi, this is Dr. Subhatra. In this session, I'm going to discuss about the airport obstructions. These are the outlines what I'm going to discuss in today's session. An obstruction is an object or the entities which are present at the path where the aircraft is about to travel. Okay, or in simple words, we can tell it as a hindrance for the safe and easy movement of the aircraft. It may be by means of the development of the society or the developments or any obstructions like mountains or valleys which is present near the airport. So it can be divided into two types. It may be of an imaginary surface. It is an assumed surface by an airport by which an aircraft should move above that particular surface only. Okay, or and another type of an obstruction is an object with an actual height, that we are able to visualize the tall structures in a vertical direction, that is in height, different developments. That is one type of obstruction. An imaginary surface is another thing. These imaginary surfaces are basically established surfaces in relation to the airport and to each runway, above which no obstruction should be there, should be projected. Size of the imaginary surface depends upon the category and the type of approach. The different imaginary surfaces are approach surface, conical, horizontal, takeoff, climb, a transitional surface. See, this picture represents all the types of imaginary surfaces. See, the center portion A, this is the primary surface, that is our runway. On at the end of the, after the threshold line of the aircraft, we'll call it as a clear zone surface, this B portion. So this region and this region on either side of the end of each runway, we'll call it as a clear zone surface. Everything, this is an imaginary surface only. We won't draw anything on the surface of the ground. There is no marking or fencing will be provided. And C and D are the clearance surface. This D here. Okay, after this clear zone surface on either side, this trapezoidal surfaces on either side, this one and this one is the clearance surface in the horizontal and also in the angular direction. Okay, then next, E is the inner horizontal surface. This 3 ellipse you will be able to see. This one, this is the inner one, this is the middle one, and this larger one is the outer one. This inner one, E, the space filled here, is the inner horizontal imaginary surface. At this place, it should be free from any obstruction. And F is the conical surface, this portion. This middle region between the two ellipses is called as a conical surface. This is another imaginary surface where it should be free from any obstruction. And G is the outer, this one. Okay, this larger space from this region to this region. This is the outer horizontal surface. And on either side of the, not from the end, on either side of the runway, you'll call it as a transitional surface. So all these are the imaginary surfaces which should be free from obstruction for the easy landing and takeoff of the aircraft. Okay, this will be explained in detail in each and every slide. Okay, this is an approach surface, how it should be, and an isometric view of the airport surface zones, how much dimensions it should be for instrumental landing system and non-instrumental, how much meters it should be. Okay, then this is for the approach runway, how much is the dimensions. We have to leave it as a free space for non-instrumental and instrumental, for precision approach and non-precision approach also. For takeoff climb surface, how much distance, how much width and length we have to provide. How about the horizontal surfaces? How about the imaginary surfaces? Everything what I have explained here, each and everything, a table shows the dimensions, what we have to follow as per the codal provisions provided by FAA, Federal Aviation Agency. Objects with the actual height. This is another. So far we have seen all the imaginary parts. This is with the actual height. Almost up to 4.5 kilometer from the runway, the obstruction should not be there. If it is above 30 meter, we have to remove that. We have to increase the space between that structure and the runway. This is what is shown here. See, this is the runway, and the 30-meter height of the building will be the starting height permitted. As the distance increases from the edge of the runway, the height of the building permitted will be higher. The slope, what will follow is 1 in 50 slope is an inclined line. This is the controlling surface. Beyond this, the growth of the structures will not be permitted. This is actually the 4.5 kilometer is the approach zone profile for every runway which is using the instrumental landing system. Okay, when it is a very nearer place, the height of the structure permitted is very less, only up to 30 meters. Okay, then after 10.5 kilometers only, the height of the building permitted will be up to maximum of 150 meter height. So this is about the visual obstructions. Okay, what we are able to see by our naked eye. And in the turning zone also, in case of emergency, how much space is required for the aircraft. Okay, beyond 4.5 kilometers only, the growth of the society will be permitted. After 15 kilometer only, the height of the building permitted, height of the structures permitted will be around 150 meter. Okay, height zoning will be starting from 4.5 kilometer, and it will extend up to 15 kilometers, starting from 4.5 kilometer to up to 15 kilometer. Then coming to zoning laws, it governs the type of development which is taking place in the adjoining areas of the airport. They are classified as terminal building, parking, commercial, industrial, residential or recreational structures. As per the zoning laws only, growth will be permitted and approval will be given. These are the legal rules which each and everyone has to follow in a country. Okay, the nature of ordinance or law should have the following qualities, like they are not unreasonable, they are not arbitrary, they are not compulsive. Zoning map has to be provided with what type of activity is going to take place. It helps people to decide their activities and what is the permissible height of development and at which zoning law they have obtained permission. So all these contents I have taken from the slide share shown here. This is the reference. Thank you.